All right, the last section of this video is going to deal with some important identities that we need to know for logarithms in order to solve. So the first one, the log of anything, if you have the log of 1 of anything, if there's a 1 in there for anything, it does not matter what it is, your answer is going to be 0. The reason why is, remember, this is your base, this is your exponent, and this is your answer. So in this case, b to the 0 power is 1. And the reason why we knew that right away is because the only way that a log is going to have an answer of 1, in this case, is if it's to the 0 power, because all logs to the 0 power have an answer of 1. So we can know that for sure right away. So that's identity number 1, using the 0 power and knowing that, again, anything to the 0 is 1. That's going to work for us with logarithms. Secondly, log base b equals, so the log of b if the base is b. So basically, if the answer and the base are the same thing, we know that it has to be to the first power. So again, base answer. Before we even write in exponents, let's take a look. Base answer. Well, now that we write in our exponents, we know it has to be 1 because, again, if it equals itself, it has to be to the first power. The last thing to do here is actually really, really similar to that last one. It's just a bit of a, I almost view this as an extension. If you can see right away that some number is to a power of the base, then you know that that power is the answer. So again, base is b, answer is inside here. So because we know that it's b to the n, the only thing that can go here, it has to be the same on the left and the right. So this has to be our exponent. So I kind of view these, I know they're a little bit confusing, the three identities, but if you write out the pieces that they give you first, you can kind of fill in the right side of it. So like go like one step at a time and you'll see that it's just basically saying something like 1 equals 1, or, you know, some common identities. Now the reason why this is important is because we're going to be using these identities in a lot of different ways to solve, especially tricky questions. If you ever get stuck, I'd recommend going back to this part of the video and saying, okay, am I missing one of these things? Have I thought of all the steps that I can do? So an example of solving. So in a question like this, we still have balance, we still have our equal sign, and we're trying to get to an answer of x equals something. We don't know what yet. So we have to go back through this video and use all the skills we've had so far to see if we can do this. So here we have an addition sign, so we know that we can use our product property. So log base 3 of 2 times x. So we're putting what's inside of the logs together, equals 4. And then now we're in the format from the video from last class. So if you don't know how to solve from here, I would actually pause, go back to the 6.4 video, and see if you can go through, review that, and it'll help you. Base, power, answer. Base, power, answer. So in this case, we can go through 81 equals 2x, divide both sides by 2, I get an answer of 81 over 2. And that's how we go through and solve. So basically, we're using the properties that we have, putting them together, and getting an x equals for an answer. Now again, remember the reason why we're even allowed to use the product property is because these logs have the same base. As long as they have that same base, we can do that. So again, a couple of questions now to ask you about the application of everything we've learned so far with logs. Put it all together, and it'll